Hey, friends, welcome back to the Southern Route. I'm your host, Shannon Courier. I am excited to be back with you this week, and we're talking a little bit about Southern women, among other things. I'm joined this week by my friend Ingrid Brown. She has 40 plus years in the trucking industry. She is a North Carolina resident and a beautiful Southern woman. Welcome to the Southern Route, my friend.
My mercy. Thanks, lady. Wow, that's like, yeah, us Southern girls. I mean, we stick together pretty close. I mean, I'd say it's kind of like grits and butter, but most people might not understand that.
If you're not from the South, you might not understand grits and butter, but
That's
I
right. And
completely understand that.
you and I just have a little sugar added to us. So there you
That's
go.
that's a Southern thing. We got to add a little sugar on top.
That's right.
So this show is not necessarily about who you are as a truck driver. I want you to give just a quick little, snippet of you in the trucking industry. But this show really is about beyond what people do for a job. This is, the background of who you are as a person and where you're from and that kind of thing. So just give us a little snippet and then we'll get into the good stuff.
Oh, good. I get tired of talking about trucking. I mean, I do. So this is like a pleasure. Okay, really fast. I was raised in a road construction company. My daddy taught me to run heavy equipment, drive trucks, move equipment, asphalt plants, concrete plants. And I loved it. And my mama wanted me to be a debutante. I didn't like it, so I got dirty in the dirt piles in my dresses. And I'm driving a truck for a living. I run 48 states. I've had my own authority up until a year ago. And yes, hello, anybody listening? I'm single and do it by myself, but I really am a good cook besides grits. So there you go. I've done lots of stuff and been blessed by the industry more than I deserve. I can promise you that.
Well, I do love this industry, and anybody that knows me knows I work in the industry, and I do love it, and I know you love it, and but we don't want to camp on there. I will say her first truck was a 1979 needle nose Diamond Rio dump truck that she got for her 18th birthday. So that tells you how much
I
of a girly girl she was, which is not so much. But we're not going to camp there. So if you want to learn more about Ingrid and her being a truck driver and her 40 plus years in the industry, there is so much to know. And so I'm just going to list a few places you can find her. You can find her on the Mid America Truck Show website. You can find her through Big Rig Videos. You can find her through Freightways. She has her own show through Freightways, America on 18 Wheels. She was a 2018 Travel Centers of America Citizen Driver, and she has a location named after her. You can find her on Overdrive, Truckers News, Business Insider, USA Today. FMCSA, Women in Trucking, St. Christopher Truckers Relief Fund. That's just all the ones that I have on the list. There are more than that. So if you would like to know more about Ingrid and her illustrious career in the trucking industry, and she absolutely does have one. She is very well respected in the industry and on so many boards and sought after. And so it's an honor to have her in this industry and work with her on my St. Christopher side as well. But this show is all about Ingrid as a person. We're going to talk about something besides trucking. So first of all, let's talk about Southern women, right? So, when you look up Southern women, there's all these words that come to mind. Can you guess what some of them might be?
Oh, I can think of a lot that I can't say on
The
here.
good ones, the good ones,
Bless your
hospitable.
heart.
We're very hospitable.
Yes,
We listen more than we speak, supposed to. We're not very good at that, to be
we don't.
honest
Yeah.
with you. We try to meet difficult times with a positive disposition. We try to give people the benefit of the doubt. We try to be kind and generous and compassionate.
The courtesy, we still have the courtesy. I still and I get fussed at for saying ma'am and sir to people. And I mean, and you know me. I mean, it's like, thank you, ma'am. No, sir. Thank you, sir. And you know
Yeah.
what? I get fussed at for doing that. My my two girls who are Southern girls in Georgia, they say it, but they were raised that way. And people, and my grandbabies say it. And they're like, and I can say ma'am and sir to my grandbabies, and people go, holy moly, you just said ma'am to your grandbaby? And I'm like, listen, if I don't sir and ma'am out of respect for them, they're never going to know to respect other people to understand what sir and ma'am really mean. And I think a lot of people that aren't from the South, they don't know what the meaning of ma'am and sir are. It's a respect thing, not an age thing. I mean, if it's an age thing, could all y'all listen, please ma'am and sir me? I mean, ma'am me. Ma'am me. All you want. All you want.
I'll
I
be
deserve
honest,
it.
the older that I get, the less I like the ma'am because, if I go in somewhere and it's a younger person and they're yes, ma'am, sometimes in my head I like to think I'm really not that much older than the person I'm talking to, but I really could be their parent. So they're calling me ma'am because they see that I could be their parent and they're trying to be respectful. But sometimes I want to go, don't call me ma'am. But it's very much a sign of respect. And so I don't say anything, but I'm thinking, am I that old? Because, I'm 51, but, the bagger at the grocery store is like, 22. And yes, I could be your parent. I have a 22-year-old son.
Well, I'm going to change your outlook so that you don't look at that anymore like that. Okay.
Okay.
And that outlook is because you have succeeded to be the lady that you are. And when they see you, you automatically have their respect. So it is literally a token of appreciation
Oh,
more than anything in the world.
okay. All right. I like that. I'm going to start using that outlook that
All
it's a
right.
sign of respect, not a sign that I'm old.
Well, thank you, ma'am. I appreciate it.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I'll take that. I guess it's, Southern women we're always, we want to leave people better than we found them. We want people to remember how they felt after being around us and meeting us and talking to us. And we want to leave people with a smile. We want to leave people in a positive place. We don't want people, to leave feeling like they weren't listened to, that they weren't cared about, that they weren't respected when they spend time with us.
I'll say what you've heard me say, and a million people hear me saying, I'll never quit saying. And that is, if I can make somebody smile or somebody happy for a split second, it doesn't matter, a split second, that means that they have a split second in their life that's so full of worry and they don't know what's going to happen next in their life. That's a split second that it literally relieves and takes that off of them. And if I can do that, I've succeeded in my whole life just for a split second. That's
I
all that
agree.
matters.
I agree because you think about, if we're out and about and we're having a bad day and somebody says something positive to us or somebody gives you a smile that you're not expecting, how much it just lifts up your day. And that's how I want to leave somebody else.
It sounds so trivial, but it's not. You know, I don't care if you pass somebody walking into, the Piggly Wiggly, if anybody knows the Piggly Wiggly in
I
the South.
do.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, honestly, if you're passing them between cars and you just look up, you don't have to say a thing. I don't care if you nod your head or you say, hi, or I don't care, or stop and let them go. It's the little things in life that matter, and we make the big things seem to be the grandiose, whatever that word is. I can't say that stuff.
Grandiose.
Thank you, ma'am. Oh, ma'am, sorry. And that's what matters. Those are your split second moments. You know, if we've quit doing that as a society, and if people would just take little bitty, respectful, give something good back, make somebody's day.
I agree. And I think, I've always believed that the more you give, the more you're going to be entrusted with, and the more blessings you're going to receive. And I feel like that's what I want to do every day. I want to find somebody that I can give back to, whether it be my kids or my husband, if that's the only people that I see in the day, which a lot of days it is because I work at home and my husband works at home. But, when we're out, if I see somebody and I think, oh, wow, her hair looks really good, I'm just going to go ahead and tell her. Because maybe she's having a bad day and that, hey, your hair looks so cute. Maybe the thing that was the positive thing they've heard that day.
But don't it make you feel good to tell her?
Absolutely, it does.
There we
Absolutely.
go. Win-win,
To see the
chicken.
smile on their face
Winner, winner,
for the
chicken
compliment
dinner.
that they got. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's nothing wrong with being nice to people. And I think that's one of the things I think that Southern women do well.
I think so. I think so. We even wear attitudes well. I hate to tell you that, but I can wear an attitude really well, but it works. I wouldn't want to be anywhere else in this whole wide world. And I mean, I'm a hillbilly Southern woman, so I get the best of both worlds. So,
Well, I'm from Alabama, so people think we're backwards down here anyway. We don't wear shoes, and which I don't wear shoes if I don't have to, but with that we don't wear shoes, and we live on still like cobblestone streets or something, which is so absolutely not true. But people think Alabama and they think backwoods and uneducated, and that's not absolutely not true. But there's a stereotype.
well, you know where I live, we have one leg shorter than the other because of walking this same way around the hill. But here or there, next.
Oh my God.
Maybe you would have wanted to stay talking trucking, because if you talk trucking, you're probably safer. But go ahead.
Oh, this is the fun stuff. This is the fun stuff. Guys, we're up for our first break. We're going to take our first break here on TNCradio.live on the Southern Route. I'm your host, Shannon Courier, joined by Ingrid Brown. We're going to take a quick break and we're going to come back and finish the conversation. Hey guys, we're back on TNCradio.live with the Southern Route. I'm your host, Shannon Courier. We are back with Ingrid Brown, 40 plus year trucking industry veteran. You've got to go Google her and check her out. But we're talking about behind the scenes with Ingrid Brown because, there's so much more to her than driving a truck because that's all she talks about most of the time. So this is the fun stuff that people may not know. So, when you think about the South, there are probably some things that you think of, country music, dirt roads, riding four-wheelers. You might even think about clogging. And I have to tell you,
Bluegrass.
you got a story about clogging. So there is this movie back from like 1975 called Somebody Moved My Mountain. That's like a 1975 movie title too. I'm just telling you, somebody moved my mountain. Can't you just hear a country person saying that? Somebody moved my mountain. What happened over here? So in this movie, they have cloggers, and you are one of the cloggers. I did not know you were like this world-renowned clogger.
You never asked. Yeah, I will be.
At the next truck show, we're going to have to be busting out the clogging. You know it.
Well, you know what? I can do that.
Funds for that.
Well, you know what? I could do that. I would do that for you. I do remember how, because you don't forget after you have to do it that many years. Not have to. Yeah. And anybody that doesn't know clogging needs to Google clogging. And I was on the World Championship clogging team. And people are like, what does that mean? Well, it's literally square dancing, buck dancing, tap dancing. Just like go Google it. But yeah. Honestly, I've traveled a lot. We did all the ACC halftime shows for several years. We traveled to all the basketball games for ACC. I did when President Bush was inaugurated. We did his inauguration. I've done Busch Gardens shows for 3 weeks. I mean, there's just anyway. I was blessed to have been a part of this, and this movie was crazy because they called and wanted us to do this movie, and it was set in a segment, and the couple comes in, and it's a party, and they have cloggers. So right in the middle of it, we literally do a routine, and I actually have like a couple close-ups. It's like, oh my gosh, Ingrid, is that you? And it's like, yeah, that would be me. And like my skinny legs and stuff, I would like to have them back. But anyway, it's pretty cool. And yeah, I clogged for golly, probably 17 years,
Oh my
16
gosh.
years or so. Yeah,
So you
yeah.
stayed in that frilly dress that your mom wanted you in for a while. And cloggers wear frilly dresses. I'm just saying they do.
Well, here's the thing. Cloggers wear a different kind of frilly dress. My mama had the lace frilly debutante dress. I mean, the one that when I got out in the dirt pile from my daddy and I came in, he got in trouble more than I did, but I still got my fanny busted. But that's beside the point. I didn't have dirt under my feet. Well, I probably did have dirt under my fingernails. I just remember we really rode in the back of a wood paneled station wagon
Oh my
backward, and we would
gosh.
fight who rode in the back. Seriously,
That's
I
when we
mean,
weren't strapped into seat belts and car seats and all that stuff. How we ever
yeah, I mean,
survived, I'll never know.
we survived great because look at us, we're awesome. But yeah, Grandfather Mountain cloggers and Grandfather Mountain. If you've never heard of that, that's here where I'm from. It's a mile high, and it literally looks like a man's face, natural in the mountains. So anyway, go look at it. It's pretty cool.
Interesting. Grandfather Mountain.
Yeah,
All right,
yeah.
so we've got to go Google Grandfather Mountain and check that out in North Carolina.
You do know these people are going to be like staying on Google while they should be sleeping. I'm going to go Google it again and see what I missed.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go check that out. So you have awesome views, obviously, there in North Carolina. I mean, you've got, the Blue Ridge Mountains up there in North Carolina, but you got views of some famous folks around there too.
I do. I have a view of. Can I tell a story time really fast?
Absolutely.
Okay. I'm friends with Stormy Warren. And if anybody doesn't know Stormy Warren, Stormy is the host of SiriusXM The Highway, Channel 56 in the mornings. Well, we met years ago, like 18 years ago. Well, I was in studio with him, and I go in once in a while and stay for the show, and I co-host with him. And don't ask me how I got into that. But anyway, I am
Whole different
sitting there
story.
one day. Exactly. I'm sitting there one day, and he said, "Hey, I got a guest coming in," and I'm like, "Okay, whatever." And I look up, and it's Scotty McCready, and he lives across the valley from me on top of Sugar Mountain, where he got married, proposed, and where you hear the song, 3,000 feet and whatever
Oh,
that
I
song
love
is.
Scotty
Yeah.
McCreery. He's so good. We
No.
watched him win on American Idol, and he's awesome.
Yeah, so he lives right down there, we swap numbers, and it's like, if you need something while you're in town, here we are. And I'm like, I haven't heard from him, but I'm sure if he breaks down in the middle of Boone, he'll call me. But I live and I grew up right in town at Appalachian State University, which has some really huge names
Yeah.
that go with it. And I don't know if you want me to tell those or
Oh, yeah.
not.
Well, I mean, surely anybody that's a country music fan knows that. We know we got Eric Church and Luke Combs coming from there. So give
Exactly.
us
And
the goods.
Eric
Got any goods
Church,
on them?
yeah, well, it's hilarious. I'm going to tell you something. Eric Church, first gig, started up here, and he lives down at Granite Falls, right past part of my grandparents, and his uncle lives like anyway. So his first gig was at a place called Woodlands Barbecue. Now there's no stage. There's like an old fireplace, and chairs in front of it and picnic tables, and it's awesome barbecue. So he comes to do his first show, and it was early 80s, and we were like, that was a regular. I mean, that was a regular. Well, his first show, he came up and he didn't realize he was supposed to do more than one set. So his 3 songs that he did his first set, he did again his second and his third, and then he went home and brought some guys with him the next time and figured he might better have some more songs. And the sad part, they just sold it, Lee, and then they just sold it here maybe 3 months ago. And I was like sending him messages, and I know he didn't get them. And I'm like, I should have told Stormy to send. But anyway, I'm sure he didn't get them. But they closed it and changed it, and so now it's not there. And of course, Luke Combs. I mean, all of our little backcountry places when he was in college here. I mean, I was old by then already, but he still comes back, and everybody's like, but nobody here pays attention. Have you ever heard of Doc Watson?
I have not heard of Doc Watson. I don't know that name.
Doc Watson is a 6-time Grammy Award winner, as well as one of the high legend Grammy Award winners. He was a blind gentleman that was the top acoustic guitarist and in the bluegrass world, and also in country music and in some rock stuff. And he's from here. So we've got some really cool music here. I mean, we get Eric Church and Luke Combs, and listen, Eric takes his glasses off quite often, so
not on stage he doesn't.
Oh well, it is when the stage is only 3 chairs on a wood floor and picnic tables.
That's one of those I knew you win stories. You knew them before they got big and famous and making millions.
I'm trying to get in.
Eric Church and Luke Combs to you. I mean, it's just,
Yeah. He wrote a song called Mother Trucker.
Yes.
Have you ever listened to the lyrics of it?
I have. I don't know if you remember it on your TikTok. When I first heard that song, my husband and I were like, this needs to be Ingrid's theme song on her show, America on 18 Wheels. I was like, this fits her. And then like a week later, you posted a video with that song in the background, and I was like, I was going to send you this song. This is so you.
It was sent to me, and I was like, are you kidding me? I mean, really? I mean, like, is there going to be a video to go with this?
Yeah.
And it's like, hold your tails, and that's all I'm saying.
It's an awesome song. If you haven't heard it, Mother Trucker by Eric Church, I mean, it's a rocking song. It will make you get up and move. That is for sure. That's for sure. All right, guys. I can't believe it. It's like second section is already over, and we're going to have to take a break already. This hour is going to fly by, and I knew it would, but it's going to fly by. And she's got great stories. There's more stories than we can fit into this hour. I mean, we could spend a week or more doing an episode after episode after episode with Ingrid, because she really knows literally everybody. So I know Stormy's going to be listening to this. I know you're going to share it with them. So Stormy, if you want to come on the Southern Route, dude, give me a holler. I'll be happy to have you on. I'll bring Ingrid back and everything. So how cool would that be? But so yeah, guys, we'll be right back with Ingrid Brown. I'm your host, Shannon Currier, on the Southern Route. We'll be right back. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back here on tncradio.live on the Southern Route. I'm your host, Shannon Currier. We are back with Ingrid Brown talking about some Southern women stuff, some Southern famous people. We got Ingrid on here wearing her shades. I wish y'all could see her. Y'all can't see her like I can, but she's showing me the peace sign and her sunglasses looking all cool, something else that Ingrid does is cool that a lot of people don't know about is she's an awesome mom and an awesome grandma, and she's got these beautiful little grandchildren who are into horses. And
Mm.
Ingrid, tell us about how you got into riding horses. There's a whole history to that. And I love horses. When anybody says, what's your spirit animal? What's your favorite animal? It's always going to be a horse for me. Other than if it's going to be a horse or it's going to be an eagle. Because, an eagle flies and it
Oh,
can literally see everything and they're just free.
yeah.
But horses to me are just such powerful animals and they just represent majestic creature to me. How did you get into horses?
Well, I could tell you that, excuse me, I could tell you that because I'm that wild Mustang that jumped out of the fence and I'm standing on the outside and I'm looking at you telling you I'm gonna stay around, but just don't pin me up because I have to be free. But
As most Southern women are. See, that's another Southern woman
that's what I was gonna
thing.
say. It's a
Don't
Southern
tell me I
woman thing.
can't do some things. I'm gonna do it twice and
Uh-uh.
take pictures. I'm just saying.
Oh no, don't back. It's like Ghost. I mean, it's like Dirty Dancing. Don't back baby in the corner. Nobody puts baby in the corner.
So
That's a
true.
Southern movie. Anyway, all right, okay. I'll go back to the clogging. Okay, in the summers, my mother knew that I was like the major ADHD child to keep me occupied. Okay. And they were always in, the construction. So when I was little, I would go to a summer camp right here in the mountains and they had horses. So I started riding and I actually really got into it. And then as I grew, I bought horses and kept riding through high school and then I started into doing some roping and some of my very dearest friends in Georgia, same way. That's how I met my ex-husband in Georgia, who's a fantastic person and a great father. And so we built a barn and had horses there. And so I started my girls on horses. Well, my girls have really, and I know I'm going to sound braggy, but isn't that what we're supposed to
We're
do?
supposed
But
to brag on our children. Go
yeah,
ahead. Come
my
on.
girls are both married, 6 grandbabies. But my oldest one rides cutters and sorters, and if you don't know that, there's
Are
another
cutters the
Google
ones
site.
that they do the back and forth, that they do the quick stop?
Yes, yes,
Okay.
yes. And then my oldest one rides Rainers. They're the ones that spin and do the quick
Okay.
changes stuff. So they actually through their teenage and stuff years did the all around stuff. But my youngest one has 4 world titles, and my oldest one has 2 world titles. And now they have started out of my 6, I only have one, which is my I would say hell on wheels. I hope I can say that.
You can.
She is a towhead blonde that is not outgrowing the towhead, and she literally started on a regular big horse, not a pony, but she's been sorting, which is going in and starting the cutting series since she was 3 and a half. I mean, now she's 6 and I mean she's in with the adults. So yeah, horses are probably, if I had a hobby, maybe I need a hobby. Maybe I should buy another horse. Anyway, sorry, Shannon. Sorry. I was
I think
daydreaming.
we have some epiphanies coming here.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. And all my horses come out of down in South Georgia. Actually, one of the uh, pro rodeo, one of the pro guy ropers, Caleb Driggers, out of Georgia, right down out of Adel, out of down there, it has broken most of my ropers, and I guess now he's not going to because he's not professional and gone. But anyway, I just need to go buy another horse. I'm so glad we had this conversation. But my girls have done amazing. I'm so proud of them in that. They are very dedicated. They still keep my barn going down there, and the babies all ride. But my little hell on wheels is definitely going to be my next champion, I think.
That's
So there you
exciting.
go.
That's
Yeah.
exciting. So the I don't want to harken back to the trucking thing, but how hard is it to be a mom and a grandma and be a truck driver and be on the road?
You know, we had 460 some acres in Georgia, and we had 81,000 broiler chickens, and we had wheat, and we had Vidalia onions, and we had watermelons, and we had, so somebody had to haul all that, and raising my girls and that stuff, and they were always around that then. They neither one could care less about a truck. My oldest one, she could drive, and I mean, I wouldn't turn her loose on the road, of course, but they don't really care about it because I mean they're just stay at home. But I'm gonna tell you, it has its days. It's wonderful to share with them on FaceTime, and at the same time you hang up and you miss them so bad that you have a moment. And that's a Southern woman thing. You know us. We feel deeply. We have that's one thing, I really noticed about us down here is that we have that compassion about everything. It doesn't matter how much it means to us. And when it does mean something, it just is just devastating whenever something happens, whether, whatever. My grandbabies it kills me. They're all 6 of them like, Grammy, just please come and just come live down here with us. Come live down here with us. And, that's what I would like to do, of course. At the same time, they're so busy right now. They're so busy. So I go down and take off and take one to their ball tournament on a weekend, or I go down and go to horse shows or whatever my babies need. If it's school stuff, I surprise them at school. Them being the distance from me, home wise, my house to their house isn't really a big deal. It's the fact of me being in the truck and feeling like I gotta go rather than being able to stay.
Right.
But they understand it because to them, it's always been presented what it is. I'm Grammy, and if you go read a New York Post, the article says Grammy's going to go help feed other people. Grammy's
Right.
going to take food to some other little boy and girl. And I want to teach them that they also need to be a giver. Maybe sacrifices in that. There's always going to be sacrifices. But I want them first and foremost to understand giving is what we're here for. We're not here to take. We're here to give. And if I can try to at least be a little bit of a focus for them for that, I'm a fantastic Grammy then.
You are. You're a fantastic Grammy and a fantastic role model for those girls and your grandbabies. And I think, I mean, I'm a Southern woman, so I can only speak for Southern women. I'm from here in Alabama, but I think that's for all of the Southern women that I know, it's a juxtaposition. We are that wild horse. We have dreams and we have things that we want to accomplish, but we also want to make sure that everyone else is taken care of as well. And we can't be 2 places at one time, but we're darn sure going to try to make
Yes,
sure that we're at 2
exactly.
places at one time, whether that be on FaceTime. And luckily we have that capability. We didn't have that capability 20 years ago. So we
Right.
are
And
able to stay in touch a little
that was
more.
hard.
But that
Yeah.
is part of what we do. We want to follow our dreams and do the things that we feel like we're supposed to do and we're called to do. But we also have to make sure that everybody else is taken care of as well.
As Southern women, and I've watched across the country, and I mean, I'm not saying bad anything about any of y'all ladies that ain't Southern women, but y'all should be. Y'all are missing out. Is that it sounds as simple as taking a dish to a family that either has somebody sick or lost somebody, or stopping by and seeing if you can do anything, or carrying them a loaf of bread. I mean, it's literally those things. And I don't see that all over. I see it only in the South. Making sure that that family has something, or a family that's at the hospital, or a sick child, a new baby in the South. Oh, hello. You gonna have food for days, but that's just the way we are, is we want to make sure. And it throws people off, Shannon, when I'm out in Utah or in California, which California I'm at so much, whenever I literally do something for somebody like that. It can blow their mind. I mean, they look at you a little weird for a moment. But I think that's something about us that we need to be proud of. And I think we need to continue.
I agree. I think it is, and there's just something about food. I don't know what it is about Southern women and food. Food is just a comfort for Southern people. Always has been. When you get that good Southern food, and I think that's why we show love through food.
Shannon, that's exactly why when I'm driving a truck and I get out, I pull a refrigerated trailer. We call it a reefer for most people. I still carry, and I put a wide load sign on my behind because I love food.
Well, I have to say, you are not the healthiest eater in the world.
Well, no, because I asked you.
Yeah, Reese Cups and Dr. Pepper. She's going Reese Cups and Dr. Pepper every time.
Well, you were going to talk about food, and I said, Shannon, you can't talk about food because all we're going to talk about is McDonald's, McDoubles, and large French fries and apple pies. We can't talk about that on this show. So, yeah, I have a wide load sign, and it fits quite well. So.
Oh, well, we got to wear whatever we're wearing well. That's just the way it is. All right, guys. Third session down. It's just flying past. The time is just flying by with Ingrid. We've only got one more segment to go, and we're gonna have a little fun in the last segment. So stay tuned. We got some fun yet to come here on tncradio.live. I'm Shannon Courier on the Southern Route. Okay, guys, we're back. This is Shannon Courier on the Southern Route, still here with Ingrid Brown, finishing up our last segment. If you have been listening in, you heard that we ended on wide load. And so, I just have to follow that up with a question, because Krispy Kreme Donuts is from Winston-Salem, North Carolina. And I was going to tell you, I don't know. I did not look up and see where Krispy Kreme is located, but I grew up on Krispy Kreme donuts and the hot donut sign. And you either have a love of Krispy Kreme donuts or you have a hate of Krispy Kreme donuts. That's just the way it is down here in the South. So I got to know, does your wide load have a love of Krispy Kreme, or do you have a hate of Krispy Kreme?
Oh, Shannon. Okay, we didn't have a Krispy Kreme in Boone, North Carolina for years. Sorry, Eric and Luke, because there was just no Krispy Kreme because nobody, and that would kind of be people that I know too well, would not let them come in because of the location. Well, there used to be a Long John Silver's that I am not disclosing, and it got torn down and it couldn't be decided what to build there.
Okay, wait. If you don't know what Long John Silver's is,
it's
like Captain D's, but it's Long John Silver.
Oh my gosh, they don't know that because that's a Southern thing.
Yes, and I don't think there's very many of them around anymore. My grandfather always called him Long John Golden. I don't know why, but he always did. I don't even understand why, but he always said Long John Golden. But it's like Captain D's for you all that aren't from the South and don't know. So, okay, keep going.
Oh, it's even better. Anyway, so whenever that got torn down, and I was kind of sad, but I was glad. Then it was the decision of what was coming in. Well, the people that voted that kind of was in control of voting what was coming in, non-disclosed.
Those are anonymous
Chose
people. We don't need to know
Crispy.
who they are.
No, we don't really. We don't. We wouldn't be talking to them anyway. Voted for Krispy Kreme. Now, a lot of the people that were voting was a handful of people were not for Krispy Kreme. Well, I looked around. Oh, sorry. They were not people of wide load signs. So the people of wide load
She does not have a
signs.
wide load. I'm just telling you. She's just being funny. She does not have a wide load.
Shannon is full of caca. I do have a wide load sign. That's for another story when I knocked the sign down in Wyoming. I'm in York, Nebraska, and the people looked at me and I said it was because my wide load knocked the slick floor sign down. Anyway, Krispy Kreme.
We don't talk about our weight.
Well, I do, because, yeah, especially now. So the people that is non-disclosed that voted for the Krispy Kreme was smart, because now the Krispy Kreme sign that says hot makes me eat way too many donut holes. Donut holes and lemon filled. I don't go through the drive-thru because you can't you can't keep going around the drive-thru. You gotta go inside. Sorry for laughing like that, but let me tell you, milk gets hot in the summer if you sit in the car. So yes, Krispy Kreme headquarters is right beside my cancer hospital, by the way, and so I get to see it all the time. But seriously, Krispy Kreme, it's the bomb. So now you know.
We had Krispy Kreme growing up, and they were my absolute favorites. And if you go when the hot sign is on, y'all, if you've never had Krispy Kreme, if you're going through a southern town and the hot sign is on, you have to go. But be prepared to eat. If you get a dozen, be prepared to eat like 6 in like 2.5 minutes, because you just cram them in. And they just melt as you put them in. And like you're going to be 6, going to be gone. You're going to go, what in the world just happened in this car?
Well, but you got to have whole milk. Oh, that's another Southern thing. We drink milk by the gallon, and it's whole milk. It ain't no 0.5%. I mean, 2%. That's it, or 1%. I grew up on cow's milk here, but now it's whole milk, and I mean it's by the gallon. And since it's just me, I drink out of the gallon. I mean, I drink out of the jug. That's another Southern thing. See, why are you getting me to tell all these stuff that I won't tell nobody else?
Look, you're not telling any secrets. We do the same thing here. We drink whole milk here at our house, and it's the 4 of us. If anybody comes to the house and I have to use milk for anything else, I got to open the other jug that's in the other refrigerator, because we've drank out of the one that's in the house. That's just the way it is.
Well, I'm gonna tell you something real quick, and I mean I'm changing subject, but I'm not. This conversation with us, I've never had with anybody in all of this la 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 media stuff in my life, and I've always like been my Southern woman, prim and proper. My mama's debutante, lady, and this right here, this is Ingrid. This is me. Hello, this is who I am. And if I'm drinking milk out of the milk jug, or I've got a wide load sign across my butt, or whether I'm trying to figure out if my binoculars will reach where I'm building my new house to Scotty McCreary's house, it's just me, and I love this, and I'm thankful and grateful for you, not just my friend, but letting me be me. And you do that wherever we go. Sometimes you really would like to, like Louisville, you probably wanted to put a leash on me and go, oh, tame down, but I can't. You turn me loose, I'm like an eagle. No, I'm like the Mustang. Never mind. I'm jumping the fence.
I understand completely. And I wouldn't tame you for 1 second, because I don't want to be tamed either. And this is what women friendships should be. You should be able to be who you are. There's no pretense. For me, what you see is what you get. Yes, I have a job to do, and yes, I do what I need to do for my job and that kind of thing. But I don't ever feel like, and you're the same way, I don't ever feel like I have to be somebody different to do my job. And what you see is what you get. I think I pretty much treat everybody the same way. I'm kind. I have the same, smile for everybody. I can talk to anybody, and you're the same way. It doesn't matter if it's the corporate person or if it's, the janitor at the facility that we might be at for a conference, or who it is. We speak to them the same way, and everybody should be respected, and I think that is who you are.
Shannon, you and I met at the NACV, which is the National Association of Commercial Vehicles conference in Atlanta. It is like the CEOs, it's the owner of companies. And I was actually there as a panelist, and I was there invited by the president of Navistar of International. So I was there and I was scared to death. I was dad blame scared because I thought, oh my God, I'm going to open my mouth and something's going to come out and it's not going to be good. And it did happen because I got on the bus with the guy from over yonder, the foreign Pierre, whatever of Navistar. And Michael was like, Mr. Michael, sorry, Chancellery was like, just talk to him. Well, they wanted to hear my accent, but it was what I was saying that it was like not bad, but just you don't know what I'm gonna say, it comes out. But you and I met there, and the thing was when we met, it was very formal because we were at a formal event. The dresses, the shoulders back, the facial, those are the things you and I can step our game up, and you and I can be what we are now. Mm-hmm. You and I can kick back on the curb and laugh at the crazy, dumbest things there are. But at the same time, you can take us to that white formal. And I think that's something about Southern women. We're taught that from a young age of how to act like a lady.
Right.
But also to go out mud bogging and waller in the mud and throw mud at each other and have fun. And I'm so blessed for that.
Yeah, I think that's so true because so many people that know me, and you too, being in the industry as long as you've been in the industry, they know me in my job. And that's pretty much all they see of you if you aren't friends outside of that, which I am friends with actually a lot of people in the industry that I work with, a lot of corporate people. We talk outside of the job, and I so appreciate that. But when I started doing this show, that was one of the things in my intro. Yes, I love a little black dress. I do. I love to dress up in a little black dress and look, nice and go out somewhere nice. But you're pretty much going to find me barefoot with a baseball cap or a visor, some jeans or leggings and a shirt. I mean, that's what I'm in unless I am at one of those events or special occasions. So yes, you want to do both. And I think that's something that, and I'm sure women from all over, but we're talking about Southern women because we are Southern women. I think we do it well for the most part. We can be what we need to be in the corporate side of things, but when we're with our girlfriends, and that's what we are. I mean, I'm interviewing Ingrid, but we're friends. And
yeah.
When you're with your girlfriends, you can truly be who you are, and you feel comfortable, and you don't feel judged, and you can say whatever you want, even if it's something that maybe you feel like you shouldn't say, but it's just something you need to get off your chest. You
Kinda
have
like
a safe place to
ass.
say that. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
It's just a safe place, and I think
yeah.
that's one thing about Southern friendships because, I mean, I got friends from up north too. I'm not saying anything different about them.
Absolutely.
But my oldest and dearest friendships are with the girls that I grew up with here. And there's just something about those friendships. And even though you aren't one of those people, there's people that you meet along the way and you feel like they're one of those people, you know,
Yes.
and that's how I feel when we met that day, standing there talking about your corporate thing. You got finished with that, and I went up and introduced myself and
I
told
had
you.
no idea. You
Yeah,
know,
and
you told me
knew,
how it
knew
affected
the,
you, and I was like, oh
yeah,
my gosh.
knew the organization that I'm with, but I didn't know the whole story behind you. You didn't know the whole story behind me, and we're both standing there in the middle of this, in just about in tears. And it's like immediately there was a friendship built right there in the middle of this corporate event that has just grown. And I'm thankful for that. And I'm thankful for you.
Thanks for having me. I mean that with all my heart, not because of this show and being on your show, but because of the friendship and because of the professional side, because we work on both sides. We work professionally together and we have this friendship. I mean, Shannon, I call you before I call anybody else about girlfriend problems, you know. And when I say girlfriend, and you know, that's something else about Southern women. We say that's my girlfriend.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's my friend, and she's a yeah. So
She's a girl. Yeah.
it is. It's amazing. I thank you so much. Thanks for being in my life, and thanks for being who you are. Thanks for
Well,
being you.
thanks for being you. I love you.
I love you too.
Thanks
Are
for
we
joining
done?
me. And we could keep talking if I had any more time. So we may have to revisit this and do it again. I'm just saying.
Oh, I
So
got more stories. I mean, there's like Tim McGraw stories whenever he and I talk trucks. And yeah, we can talk later. Yeah.
Lord, y'all, there's more to come. All right, we're going to head out for this episode of the Southern Route. Thank you, everybody, for listening in. I hope you all have a fantastic week out there. Go say something nice to somebody, give somebody a compliment, share a smile, shake a hand, make a new friend, and reach out to an old one if you haven't talked in a while. We'll talk to you
Don't
next
forget your
week.
prayers.
Yes, say a prayer, accept a prayer, do some good out there in this old world. All right, we'll talk to you next week on the Southern Route.